Today we are making a stand on behalf of all children, on behalf of all Kiwis. We want New Zealand back. Health crisis, education crisis, food crisis, fuel crisis. We want New Zealand back. Today our courage is here to rally up the courage of others. Join us. Join us as we stand. Join us as we march. We believe in the good old New Zealand. We believe Kiwis have the solution for Kiwis. New Zealand understands how to look after its country. We want New Zealand back. As we stand today, we stand on behalf of those who have no voice. We stand on behalf of those who are out there feeling solo, feeling like they're alone, isolated. You are not alone. Join us. Every voice, every set of feet counts in the march for our freedoms, in the march for our New Zealand, coming back to what we know.
Hey, Jerry. Miss you. Hey, everybody. So Elliot is at the front and I'm covering the back. And there's hundreds of people here today. Can you hear us? Sure you can. Elliot, are you there? Great to see you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, you can hear us. Ah, that's awesome. I better be careful about what I say then. So we're just covering the...
Welcome to the Daily Examiner. We're watching now the march of various freedom groups. FRC are the ones who lead this one, along with Convoy NZ. You've got Voices for Freedom here. I've seen Groundswell here as well. There is hundreds of people, hundreds of people here. Again, all Kiwis from different walks of life, different roles, different jobs, different generations, all here making a protest stand. Maxine injured. It might interest you to know that the New Zealand media have now accepted the WHO's report that vaccinations do not limit the spread at all. So there's now an acceptance of that, even though there has been a wealth of empirical data being given by various groups. Also on the line, we also have Dale Tilsley. She's at another angle. Yes, thank you, Kate.
I'm from the.
Absolutely right. Groundswell is here. I have spoken to some of those guys. Voices for Freedom, very strong in here. Okay, very different groups, different people and organisations are being represented. Rena, Tauranga, Moana in the house standing with you all. Yep. Yes, there's a lot of people here. What has been of interest is that there's a lot more people who are becoming more aware of the democratic principles being eroded.
Hello, how are you?
Oh.
Are you on a live?
Mwah. Good to see you. Good to see you.
So still here, still moving forward. There is the logistical movement is not being spoken of yet. We're following those who are at the lead. There are reasons for that. It is very possible that there'll be the police will be utilised. And the marshals have been very clear in their directives. They're going to make sure that any emergency vehicles can get past. It has been really excellent in the past. Children, young, middle-aged, old, coming together for a common purpose, standing together. As we come down to the last guys. All right, and it's also been followed up by support cars, support vehicles. We'll be with you during this march. Still. Here the water's coming up. Sam Pohiva. Sam, this is at the Auckland domain. The idea is to be safely disruptive. And so we're just following on from here, Auckland domain, and we're moving out. Now I'm going to have to see if I can make a move. Please excuse me if you start hearing huffing and puffing. So as you know, yes, WHO came out and it was accepted by New Zealand ministries that the vaccinations are not limiting the spread at all. Interestingly, they're now calling for more vaccinations to be produced. Got a little page here. Hey Jacinda, leave our kids alone. You'll note that the FRC program, of course, was implemented as of 2020, but it only started really this year. And that is the FRC that is all the public schools that demands that teachers embed lesson planning. So if you are 7, 8 years old, outcomes include that the 7, 8-year-olds must have an understanding of sexual orientations, that they are also to understand the difference between what they refer to as gender and sex. We just also had the Ministry of Education very recently have released a non-ironic meme saying that feminine people are not the only ones who get periods, but that all different genders get periods. This was not a satirical piece, it was not a meme, it was from the Ministry of Education itself. Yep, Kelly, absolutely right. Also, just to let you know that as of midnight last night, public submissions on the Free Waters bill closed. So now the government is going to now push forward with their Free Waters agenda, which of course takes away water assets from New Zealanders, puts in the hand of the state government, and also gives unelected people power over, I believe, half. Sam, so currently, Sam Pohiva, currently we are in Auckland domain. The Auckland Museum is here. That's where we are. The line is marching a long way. Mariana Beach, yes, exactly. Really good point. Well, they are the government. There were promises made in 2019 and 2020 made to activist groups of LGBTQI+. One of those promises was made on 1st of August, I believe it was 2019 or 2020, one of those two, that there would be education classes for children. Unfortunately, what we've seen over in the US is that those progressives who put that in place first, approximately half of those groups are now being charged for various child sex offences. So that's happening in the US, where these policies came from. We're waiting to see what happens here. I do want to let you know, board elections, school board elections are coming up over the next few weeks. If you would like to defend your children against some of the concerning radical LGBTQI+ policies, you need to speak up, you need to get those meetings, and I would even say make sure that your boards are filled with people who respect the rights of parents. Looks like we are coming out of the domain onto Grafton or Park Road, turning left. Police are starting to be in attendance. Yes, Stuart, absolutely correct. Wellington and Christchurch are also there. We've stumbled upon one of the great writers of our time. Hello, Aljana. Hello, little girl. Good to meet you. So what are you guys here today for? Same thing. Lovely. Awesome. Awesome. All right, we'll carry on. Thank you, guys. Some of the protesters are also getting a free trip. Hello. What are you guys doing here? Having a chill? Hey. Oh, I'm riding. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Karen, great question. We actually don't know. We don't know where we're going. You'll find all various different types of flags. One thing of note is that the current Labour government has been putting in various policies that have divided New Zealand possibly ever since 1852. What you see here, a lot of unity, a lot of different people from different areas, different groups, different identities, all pointing out. Oh, why? What is government tyranny? Well, what is an example of the current?
I don't even know where to start. I mean, it's madness, isn't it? So, tyranny's when the people don't have any say. The government rules over them. Huh?
Well said. Well said. Thank you. Thank you. So you'll see there, police are in attendance. We're going to move forward. There's a lot of people here. We'll be interested to see how the New Zealand mainstream media strike this. We're going to sneak around. Gentlemen here, freedom over fear. Does appear to be quite a long, big mention about that. Yeah, this is Sherry. That's actually a really good point. Is the amount of New Zealanders who are in this march, and especially the diversity that you see in the march. Different skin color, different ethnicity, different religions, different income level, different everything. And yet the two major parties, Labour and National, nowhere to be seen. In fact, no parliamentary party, none, are seen. Quite extraordinary when you consider that these are New Zealanders. And also when the progressive or the liberal polls even put popularity of the freedom protest in Wellington at over 30%. Starting to move down, and now the group, the protest, is moving into Kaiva Pass. Kia ora. You got elements, and the people here are standing for a variety of policies, or against a variety of policies that are innately progressive. So against the institutional racism being currently implemented, the cost of living that has just expanded beyond. There are discussions around the UN, various agendas that they have agreed to, New Zealand has agreed to. Also important to note some of these, or a lot of the program agendas being agreed to by New Zealand were also agreed to by the other parliamentary groups. Raises a very concerning problem, which is which parliamentary party actually represents the people of New Zealand. We're just crossing the Grafton train bridge. Now the group is starting to lean towards moving to State Highway 1. A lot of noise, especially with motorbikes. So you find moving up to Gillies Avenue currently. Trying to move onto State Highway 1. Traffic is starting. Now they're starting to move. Again, a lot of flags, both upright, both also showing the crisis. Crowd very well behaved. A lot of good discipline going on. You've got the marshals. The marshals are keeping a good amount of security. The police are there. Moving on here. As they're coming out, got New Zealand flags. But a lot of the people on the other side showing a lot of support. The speaker is talking about farmers, teachers, tradies. We've got fire service people in here. As you know, many of our fire stations are being shut down during weekends, during peak operating hours, because they do not have enough people. A lot of that is due to the vaccine mandates. See at the top there on the balustrade. A lot of different types of people in here, and that does really seem to be the big one. There is a great deal of diversity, of actual diversity, organic diversity, not the enforced quota systems that we see the current Ardern Labour government implementing. And that is one big thing that has been coming out. That is a very strong area. It appears to be that every parliamentary party, their progressive policies, or those they agree with, are actually damaging some of the more sinuous elements of New Zealand democracy, freedoms. I'm seeing New Zealand flags, Tiro Rangatira flags, Samoan flags. We've even got a Tokelau flag. As you know, currently there are families still under what they refer to as high isolations, which are Council F. And you've got those elements. Again, Tokelau citizens are New Zealand citizens, but we have heard right from them themselves, the Tapalinga or the government, that they are not New Zealand citizens unless they're in New Zealand, as terms of the Bill of Rights. We're now giving victory signs to the drivers in the traveling in the opposite direction. The line goes even further back than the bridge. Again, very fascinating that the pro-abortion rally last Saturday garnered nationwide attention, and there were about approximately 200 people there. And here we're looking upon hundreds, easily I'd say, well over 1,000. You got people there motioning to the people on the other side.
He really doesn't.
Somebody say was being taken from us. We said we've had enough. When a time where our nation was being ruined, we said we've had enough. By every step of the way, let's small. Every step of the way, let's move.
So now moving again.
We're going to be coming up on that side. Today, history is being made. We've had enough.
Are you awesome? Yeah. Awesome. One man question? Okay. I understand. So just talking to one of the brothers from Groundswell, and you'll find that a lot of people are a bit concerned if they do get onto the camera. Absolutely correct. There are people who have been attacked by various institutes. Speaking of talking about farmers, absolutely shocking that the current government is implementing more and more restrictions on farming practices, regulations, and also the regulations that are changing nearly day to day.
Somebody say,
The crowd is so large now that they are having to slow down as they go from the off ramp and move on to another on ramp. Cheers, brother. Cheers, brother. Oh,
I'm walking.
oh, you're walking in. Hey, I feel you. I feel you. So a lot of people here, absolutely thronging State Highway 1. A lot of people there, different colours, different creeds, different flags. One of the most significant things is the unity, absolute unity that you're finding with all the different Kiwis, all different New Zealanders. And there have actually been quite a number of non-New Zealanders that I've spoken to as well. Voice for Freedom I see in there. And that's what's amazing, the unity factor, and it's something we've seen since the first protest began, is that unity aspect. The two tangata, iwi tapu riders, Catherine, I honestly don't know. I'd say well over, I said at first about over 1,000. Now I think it's over a couple of thousand at least. I'm horrible at numbers. There you've got Let's Be Free NZ is over there. Unite Against Segregation. That is something that we've seen of quite significance, is that this particular government seems to be actually putting in policies, laws and implementations that divide New Zealanders by skin colour and race. And that's a shocking thing. Two tangata in the house. Freedom and rights, takers. All different colours, all different creeds. And what's quite incredible is that there's a lot of people who usually disagree on a great deal of things, and yet here they're standing up for the fundamental rights of New Zealand. That is the freedom to choose, the democratic processes that include it. You've got Brian Tamaki, who's in the crowd, moving up and down. Again, over that far side, you see a lot of the wardens. They're doing a really disciplined job of keeping the people in areas, the people themselves, very respectful, very organised. This is unlike what we saw in last week's pro-abortion rally, which had maybe a couple of hundred people, if that. They were screaming, slurring, viciously angry. Here, you'll find a lot of the people are engaging in unity. All this for 0.2% death rate. That is something of significance. Those who are unvaccinated, it's still at over 99% survival rate. And it's fascinating to note that those who are on the progressive left have been successfully putting down that knowledge, very empirical knowledge. We will install a new dynasty with unity, mutual respect, loss in life, heart attack after first jab. So we do have a growing amount of accepted vaccine injury cases. Free to be me. And that's what the big one is that people here. This is Brendan Pascoe. Good to see you, brother. Hey. So what are you doing here?
Well, only place to be, isn't it? I'm surprised the rest of New Zealand's not here with me, with us.
Well,
it's a great turnout.
Stunning.
Brian was amazing.
Yep.
He spoke incredibly well.
Oh, wonderful.
Look at the day.
Yep, big time. All right.
Nice seeing you.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good day.
All right. So that was Brendan Pascoe. Brendan, of course, refused to engage in the discrimination practices. Rocha down there. Yeah, so Brendan was part of that batch of people. He refused to discriminate, and they became one of the top-rated Lone Stars before they were removed from it. Again, for not discriminating. We're coming to the end. These are the back supporters. All right, now we're going to move forward again. Again, this area is blocked up. That's how many people are here. We've got a terrific jam in Auckland. So we just hold up. Appears to be that we're waiting for the bridge. Also possible, I haven't confirmed this yet, but it's also possible it's due to the marching harmonics. This was a concern during the North Shore Bridge March. If you get people marching on a bridge, the harmonics itself can actually destabilize the engineering. Kia ora. Can I ask what you guys are doing here?
How are you?
Good, good.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, inside out. Why am I going to fire station?
Yeah,
A fire station.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, brother. Yeah.
This working?
Yeah, still doing it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, we're doing our own little thing, so.
Awesome.
Yes.
Might be interesting to.
What? So you read something? Another story. Oh man, there's a story that sounded there, but the thing was gone. Oh yeah,
All right, I've been so that was one of the brothers who I used to work not with but alongside. He was with Newsline. As you know, South Auckland were very well used to push the mandates, possibly because South Auckland generally doesn't fight back against Labour. So he was mandated out of his role. Great guy, really good for helping the youth. So it's important to know what's going on. It is also one thing that is of some interesting significance, especially when you talk about Samoa and Tokelau having flags up here, because Pacifica are the only person group who vote for Labour en masse without political thought, just a straight voting. No real reason for it, just that. And there have been invites given out to the Talanoa Sao crew, and we are going to be going around these areas, making those discussions and really confronting, instead of saying Labour is good, we want to know why it's labelled good to our Pacifica community. Yes, Eileen. Lovely day for a stroll. Yes, we're thankful that we got some sun. Lovely. Again, really united, unified. We're now moving underneath the Graph Bridge. Oh, I see. Yeah, again, there's a really good vibe here. Really good vibe. People are talking to people. I've seen a couple of kids actually fall over, and immediately, in less than a second, they're picked up by either parents or someone else, making sure they're okay. There's a real communal sort of spirit here. I saw one phone just actually dropped on the ground, picked up by a young man, quickly ran over and gave it back. Might interest you to note that we've had over 400 ram raids in the recent times.
Oh no, you don't have the festival.
And again, something which has been rejected by the current and previous governments is the idea around family, specifically the nuclear family. 1974, the DPP came out, very likely a very good meaning, but quite disastrous for the social fabric of New Zealand. And from that, we have gotten broken families, myself included, and a lot of crime that comes from that. Sorry.
After us, sick and tired of social distancing. It's such a farce. You must think we're really dumb, or you can shove it up your bum, or you can push it back to your mum. Ashley Bloomfield even work for the Who. For the Who? You're a lying, evil, nasty person too. You locked us down, now you're looking like a kind of property working for the New World Order too. Well, Putin, he wants the population. That's right, he wants to kill. But remember when you know
Excellent. So the message here, I must be brave, not cower and fear, for down the line when it is too late. Reminds me of the Martin Luther King Jr. quote, which is, in the end, not the words of our friends, but the silence, not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends that we will remember. So we're here out again. Yes, Eileen, upside down flag refers to crisis. So if you've got a flag that is up, down, it refers to a crisis in that. Same thing in America. We saw upside down American flags when a lot of the rights have been taken away. Some of those have not been given back yet to those people. That's why you've got the upside down flag. It's in crisis. But Sarah, absolutely, it's a country in distress. Thank you, Rachel. Absolutely right. So, okay, we're back onto the state highway. We're going to start making our move.
Not too late.
For that. About from the Daily Examiner. Do you mind if I have a quick chat? Both of you guys. Just a general sort of one. Awesome, thank you. All right. So, beautiful sunny day for a walk. May I ask you ladies what you're doing here and what you're walking for?
I'm here for my next generation, my son.
Next generation.
The whole thing is about men standing up, picking up their balls.
Awesome.
Men.
Awesome. Both the Barnos, absolutely. Yep, well said. Well said. Thank you. For yourself.
I'm selling my carnage. I come to help the future generations. Also because we are a country in crisis. We have a health crisis, we have an education crisis, we have a housing crisis, we have a food crisis, food shortage. That's why I'm here today, because something has to change. This government has to change. They have to get out and get a new government because they are against people. And that's why I'm standing here today.
Thank you. So you can't really get more clearer than that. Really strong discussions going on there. starting to congregate. Haka has appeared. And on State Highway 1, this is coming into Spaghetti Junction.
Yeah, come on, make some noise. All right, family. Woo! All right, family, let's make our way to the altar. Remember, everybody hold behind the banner. Unity, oneness. We're together today. Let's get our banner up front.
They're having the banner coming out.
Once again. You're doing amazing, family. Wave your hands. Wave your hands.
You're over here.
Bring it up, family, behind that banner. Oneness. We're all in unity together. You look amazing. And now I want you to see, on our side, our convoy has arrived. Yeah. Come on, make some noise. Our convoy has arrived.
Looks like the convoy has come in.
Yeah.
There. Right there. You can't see it probably, I'm afraid, but the Convoy NZ has turned up. They have taken over the entire State Highway 1. On that side, flags are being shown, beeping. Extraordinary display of unity.
This is what it looks like when the people say you had enough. Somebody make some noise.
Oh, you mean? Thank you, brother.
There are more for us than there are against us.
Convoy NZ has turned up.
Celebrate democracy in New Zealand. We want our country back.
We want our country back is the cry.
National's gonna go.
There's the convoy. The convoy is stretching. Like I said, ground 12, FRC, BFF, Convoy NZ, Democratic Action, Freedoms NZ. Extraordinary scenes here. I don't want to show you too much, but there's even branded vehicles here. Now, you may not be able to see it, but these cars, there are good-looking cars, there are cheap cars, there are broken cars, there are well-maintained cars. All different colors, religions, ideals, principles, but underneath that idea of unity in New Zealand, the freedom, the right to choose, the right to be able to do as a New Zealander wants to do. Extraordinary scenes here. The freedom protests, the North Harbour March, the walks across the various parks, through Newmarket, staying where the tents were.
Hi, Elliot. This is the traffic right now. We're just on, which bridge are we on?
Again, the crowd, very well behaved, very respectful.
We have managed to stop traffic
And
here
as we've
as well.
seen at every other protest to do with freedom,
We want our mandated teaching. We want our country back. My son has fled to England, 18 years old. He wants to come back to his country. I'm standing up for my country, and I'm standing up for my son and my family. I want my job back. I want my friends back, and I want my country back. Damn politicians, give it back.
well said, well said. Something that we've heard quite a few times. Okay, extraordinary scenes coming up now.
Hi,
As
guys.
you can see there as well, you've got Liao. She's in the other area. Extraordinary scenes. Liao, I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. What's going on over there?
So, yeah, I'm coming. So all the traffic has stopped up here. I think there is a lot going on from all sides. We're going to go around Gilly's Ave, and we'll be back there soon. So I'll go over there and I'll catch up with you guys soon.
Faces, I can see
And again, the people move on. Can we ask, what is the deal with the bell? What is the bell about?
The bell came to Wellington with me. I went down on the first convoy and stayed and came home for a week and went back again. And so it's just my favourite bell. It's got Wellington, Freedom Village.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
so
Well done.
Gotta make a bit of noise.
Make a big noise. Awesome. Reminds me of when I was staying in Waikato. Hello, oh, you got the jumper. Hey, here's a man here. So,
What's the rally now?
oh, look, there's a rally going on right now for Trump.
Yeah, the big one too.
Awesome. Can I give you a quick interview? Oh, I feel you. I feel you. Love the head.
Thank you.
I saw one of the other brothers, and he has on. Hang on, I'll see if I can do this here. Oh, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, again, vaccine injured. Some of the shocking stuff going on.
Thank you for your video on abortion. That was great.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. It's really amazing to hear a lot of people here talking. New Zealand anthem, hear our water stop. Hi there, Elliot from the Daily Examiner. Just wonder if I can ask about your sign.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. So the submissions, public submissions closed last night. What? Now, I'm going to assume that you don't like Free Waters. Why don't you like Free Waters?
It's going to destroy all our farming, our crops, everything. Water is the essence of life, and so without water, if we're all paying for it, it's going to be a pretty sad day. And look, it's coming if we let Free Waters go ahead. So,
and of course, it's been taken away from the New Zealand people, in a sense, being held by the government. Do you think that actually New Zealanders should hold on to it as keep it as a sort of a New Zealand ratepayer source, as opposed to what the government's doing?
water should be free to everybody to use. We need it for everything.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. All right.
Thank
you. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks. So we're going to move forward. Help alarm. Start looking at the head. That's good. Good grade. Good grade. Oh, hard life. George Reeves, yes, absolutely. No one is begging the jab. All we want is our freedom and the right to choose. That's absolutely right. A lot of people here are jabbed. A lot of them are not jabbed. A lot of them, some of them have the boosters. Some of them have only one jab, or most of them actually have either two or none. What is being fought for here is the right to be able to choose.
Yeah.
See? Doing awesome. Hard comedy. What's also been really good is being part of and having some discussion with people who do have an understanding of the empirical data, that it's not just sort of speaking out without knowing what's going on. The Water Entities Bill that the public are now unable to have a say on publicly, at least in terms of the select committee. And reports, I haven't confirmed these reports yet, but what I understand is that the government may have decided that email submissions would not be entered into. Now, I have not confirmed that. That is from Jordan Williams of the Taxpayers Union. If that's the case, another shocking blow to democracy and democratic principle. We've seen this particular government slash select committee times and, of course, absolutely and utterly ignore the New Zealand people's voice. It has been a real fascinating phenomenon, whether it's to do with progressivism or whether it's to do with Miss Ardern or whether it's to do with the Labour Party or just left-wing politics in general. Stephen Oliver is in there in the background. Again, a lot of the people, the celebrities of the freedom movement. Again, you've got the two tangata iwitapu group here, motorcycle club. People are walking through. Kahurangi is put it in submission, so what the are you talking about? Absolutely right, Kahurangi, that you can put a submission in, or you were able to. The concern, of course, is that they have refused to engage and will allow the email submissions to actually be put forward for orals and that. And also the fact that this government slashes the times. So, for example, the Rotorua Representation Bill, which sought again to split power by race, that area received a slashed select committee time.
Hi, Elliot.
Oh, hello. Hello.
I've joined back up. Thank you, guys.
Oh, very good. So Liao's on board. Where is Liao? Where are you anyway?
I'm at the Parkfield Terrace. So I think I'm about halfway with the team here. They're all still
awesome.
coming from the bridge.
Oh,
I
great
flew
one.
here, by the way.
All right. I'll tell you what, if you want to take over muting, I'm going to move to the front.
Sure.
All right.
At some point, it'll be really good to get a drone and get covers like this. But of course, we need we need funds. Hey guys, great to have you on board. Elliot's been covering really well.
And he's on the taumata race. I put the kura to come down.
It's a beautiful day for a march. We have the bikes behind us as well. I would love a drone. Then at least you won't have to hear me puffing. I have to show you my top that I'm wearing today. I'll see if I can turn this around. I'm not sure if I can. I'll try.
Again, man.
Oh, good.
Bit of a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Here's my top. And says unmasked, untested, unvaccinated, and unafraid. So hey everybody, just a real quick. Sorry about this. This is so messy. Been beaked off the road. I'm going to try and change this back. You don't want to see my face. Settings. Here we go. Back to the crowd. I just wanted to show you my map. Right, oh, here we go. Ah. I love that unintelligence. Thanks for that, Quinn. Appreciate your contribution. Oh, we're actually right at the end. I better hurry up. I'll get up on the... Here we go. So, Elliot, are you there? Are you there, Elliot?
Yes, hello.
You take over for a hot sec. I'll be right back.
Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah. How you doing? Good.
Live streaming for
Daily Examiner.
Daily Examiner?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Who are you doing?
One of the best independent
Who are you doing?
filming. No, live streaming.
Oh, good man. Good on you.
With Tony Allen.
Tony, I know Tony.
Yeah.
Good fella.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was on the convoy coming across the harbour.
Oh, awesome.
We jumped across the motorway.
Oh, was that you? Was that you people, eh?
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Big brother.
Oh, I've been streaming. Okay. So having a bit of a chit chat. Really good to see some guys out there. Got their painkillers. Hey, brother. Let all good working Kiwis stand together for our children. Family does play quite a strong role in here. A lot of the people who I've spoken to, very much about the next generation, the children and the children's children. What sort of world are we leaving for our kids? Which also shows quite a significant amount of selflessness. The idea around Hey. Hey, Steve Oliver in the house.
Tramping gear on.
Tramping. What a beautiful woman. Oh, Jesus. It turned on, eh?
Great day, mate.
No, wicked stuff, actually.
Yeah, mate, like people unhappy with being held up for a couple of minutes, and we're still in this nightmare 2.5 years.
That's right.
Yes.
No, you're right. And I think the systemic laws that are being put in place that will actually have generational consequences.
Yeah.
I think that's what's most extraordinary.
Yeah, but no one's aware of that. It's all put in place on the back end, and we're only aware of it once they kick it out.
Yes. Yep.
And it's legal. It'll be legal.
And you're right, actually. I know that when the gun laws got all changed over, a lot of people actually literally having control sneaked in when they were not part of any concern whatsoever.
No, they keep going on about there's a gun issue. There's not a gun issue, mate. There's a depression issue. There's a crime. People are desperate. People have got to pull the trigger. There's no more guns than there ever has been.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely
right.
I just wanted to say you've done a brilliant job.
No.
You've done a great job all the way through, and we have watched your interviews with the person. Brilliant. Well done.
That's all the least we can do, guys.
Yeah,
we all stood up over in a weekend.
Exactly.
I know.
Hey.
I know.
We'll listen to certain people when
Yeah,
when
when
you find
they-
their voice, you almost got to
Oh, you got a duty, mate. Yeah. It's the least we can do, mate. Our forefathers could ask for a lot more.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they?
So well done. Keep
Thank
it
you.
up.
Appreciate it. Good to see you guys.
I'll see you on your next interview.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Good to see you, brother. Take care, man.
You got this,
Keep it up, mate. You too.
hard. So that was Steve Oliver, real good fella. Elizabeth, I'll die standing for my grandchildren and great-grandies. Never surrender. Well said. That is what this is the thing. There's a lot of what's going on here is, and it's quite sad, but I believe every single parliamentary party has been going for identity, someone's self-identity, how you psychologically identify yourself at a particular time. That's what society should conform itself around, which of course carries with it great trouble, great problematic areas. The only one who's not is the ACT Party, and I will put in my own opinion here. I think ACT is, watch out there, Tony. Oh, there he goes, very good, all good. This is Tony Allen, very pro-protest person, covers a lot of things. Anyway, as I was saying, what is noticeable about the ACT Party is that they're arguably worse, because whereas you have Labour, Greens, well, not most, but a lot of the national Te Pāti Māori, they're very strong about the government taking force and forcing people to engage in things that they don't want to. On the other side, ACT Party basically leave it up to the individual, but to an extreme point, to where suicide is now a viable and legal opportunity, killing babies also now legalized heavily. So unfortunately, at least from my own personal point of view, I cannot put my trust and integrity into any particular party currently. So coming back to this area, the line over there, far over there, is only now coming to the end spot. The trail leads for a very long distance. Still a lot of people coming tracking down there. We're going to see if we can get into that. Thank you, Sandy. We're hearing you from Australia. Oh, I forgot to mention, thank you to that person who has messaged from Holland, or the Netherlands, sorry. I keep saying Holland, but from Netherlands. Thank you for that. As you know, a lot of the European nations are now having huge demonstrations, public demonstrations against their government for engaging in very severe progressive policies that have been implemented across the board. First to be hit, and this is what's probably systemically ruthless, is that there seems to be an attack on the farming community, regulations saying that only certain companies can sell your seeds, non-seed bearing seed as well, the types of systems that they must go under, the emissions trading schemes. Then you've got the children, and the children now being taught sexualization, sexualized gender ideology. You've also got now institutionalized racism, where if you're a certain skin color or race, you have more structural power than other groups. And again, all of this is very divisive for every nation. And I'm not just talking about New Zealand, I'm referring to the Western world. So we are seeing across the Western civilization, we're seeing two things. One, the governments, the progressive governments, the left-wing governments, forcing these changes upon the people. The other one that you see is that the people are slowly, very slowly, but surely starting to be aware of these policy implementations and kicking back against it. So while the division is working for some, it's not working for others. Again, a lot of great discussions and topics. Back into the domain. We're making our way now to the meeting area. Chastity, absolutely. Really good point there. Sri Lanka, of course, did follow the progressive ideas. There's a combination of things that happened in Sri Lanka. And a lot of it just was really bad management. As you know, they are bankrupt. They're gone. And unfortunately, those who will bail them out, I believe, will be those who will take land for themselves, utilize it. You've still got people coming from down the hill. This line tracks a long way.
Where's Vina?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Check this out. You just walked 5.3 kilometers.
5.3 kilometers. I'll put that on the step monitor or whatever it is.
How powerful was it when we got one side of the motorway and we joined by our brothers on the other side? Oh, we've got some things to celebrate today. Woo! Welcome in. Hey, family, we're going to finish up together. Come on back on the hill. We've got a few important notes we want you all to know. How we next best move together. Oh, congratulations, family. Congratulations. Wow, 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 wow. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah. I love it. Back in the Texas a lot. Oh, yeah. Get your dance on. Get your monkey on. This is where we celebrate. This is where we celebrate.
Leave with Carol.
Yeah. That's all.
Well, March has come to its completion. Will be interesting to see what the outcome is in terms of the New Zealand multimedia. Alrighty, so thank you so much for joining us here. I probably should look in somewhere. It's not the toilet block. There we go there. All right, there we go. Awesome. Right. So yeah, we got a lot of the people that are coming back now, and spirits are very high. You know, there's been a lot of stories about pain. Been a lot of stories about here. I'm in the way of the bikes. So the bike coming in. Yeah, I might just get those. So they're coming in. A lot of good noise going on here. I think we are at the stage now where we're able to use certain words. For example, a word that I avoided a lot in my speeches in 2017, 18, 19, avoided that word called socialism, Marxism. I think now we're at the point now where we can say it quite safely, with even the mainstream media admitting that there are elements of that. We've got a lot of things that are going on there. Quinn, you have a Trump hat on, says a lot about you. Thank you very much. So I guess what that means about me is that I won't just swallow what the mainstream media listens to, but rather I like to look at policies, outcomes. Again, one of the reasons why I love Trump, why I like Trump, and why I love his policies is because under him, the blacks and Hispanic area, they had the best levels of employment, they had the best levels of income growth, wage growth, and that was, I believe, since records actually began. He also protected people by getting rid of the most sexual predators than any other president. He was able to do that. Not only that, he was an avowed pro-life guy, you know, and so sometimes I do wish that he'd be quiet. He wouldn't talk so much. But the fact is that he engaged in policies that worked for the people. And that was actually really wonderful. Esther Paku, so very proud of you. And Ngāmihi, Elliot and Liao. Absolutely, thank you so much, Esther. Wonderful to see you on here. Ngāmihi koutou, and no mask. No, there doesn't seem to be a mask. So it's all really awesome. Quinn means you're a dipper. He's off to jail, pal. Well, I know he's been impeached a few times, and as per evidence, he has not received that. So you'll find it's quite a strong recurring factor around the Democrats. And Democrats, of course, the party of the KKK, they were the party who engaged in racism at a horrific level. The Republicans, of which Donald Trump is a part of course, were the ones who were the anti-slavery party. And it is similar to, for example, Labour and Pacific. Pacifica believe that Labour Party are a good party. They're not. They're the party who started dawn raids. They're the party who broke the family, and they are now instituting institutional racism. So it's quite extraordinary what's going on in that regard. So I want to sign off here. Look, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. If you feel like we're doing a good job, please hit subscribe and give us a bit of bling bling if you feel so led to. We love doing this sort of thing. By the donations that you've given us, we are able to do these and get out there and report what's going on. All right, but we thank you so much for joining us. Ellie Ikile, Liao Tilsley signing off. God bless you. God bless New Zealand.